Space continues to be a great mystery that always intrigues us. Imagine being a speck of dust in a dark room. Understanding how meaningless it is to wonder if we are alone becomes quite easy. Almost every day, numerous news articles about space are brought to our attention. Even if we think some of them are fake, we still have access to a wealth of tangible evidence. Of course, the credibility of international organizations is also crucial. For instance, NASA, no matter how many scientific and technological explanations they provide, faces a significant lack of trust worldwide. People do not trust NASA and similar institutions. The time and money these organizations spend on covering up realities that have somehow come to light are unbelievably immense. The potential of these institutions to hide the truth is truly staggering when we consider what they protect, which systems or individuals they safeguard, and how they act according to certain ideologies.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis, the final visit to enhance the vision of Hubble into the deepest grandeur of our universe.
Bypass across the board, Scooter, no action.
Houston now controlling Atlantis on its way.
Do you think they can overcome this? Can NASA and its counterparts become trustworthy institutions? By the way, I share posts with you in the community section of our channel. Thank you for your interest and support. Check in occasionally, my friends. The truly painful aspect is not that humanity has been manipulated, but rather that it has been made to believe in falsehoods. The existence of extraterrestrial superiors, their collaboration with alien beings, and their manipulation of Earth's climate are the true realities. However, it seems that they believe by keeping these topics in the realm of conspiracy theories, they can have greater control over people. Don't you think that's a major misconception? Eventually, the truth will come out, but determining what is real and what is fake becomes increasingly difficult. Nevertheless, peculiar events and covert interventions continue to occur on Earth. In this video, we will delve into some examples. Here are some examples. A spacecraft has been orbiting the Earth for over 700 days. Let's start with some information that will surprise and pique your curiosity. For over 700 days, a mysterious spacecraft has been circling Earth's orbit, and apart from the United States Air Force, no one knows why. So, what exactly is happening here? First, I'd like to share some excerpts from the article published in A for Science. This unmanned military drone, known as the X-37B spaceplane, operates on solar power and is on its fifth mission, referred to as Orbeez and ISIL 5ATV-5. The mission's purpose is unknown. It was launched on September 7, 2017, with the assistance of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. There are no details yet on when the mission might conclude. The only thing we know about this enigmatic spacecraft is that it serves as a platform and bears resemblance to NASA's space shuttles. No information is provided to the public whatsoever. Naturally, the lack of information has led to numerous speculations, assumptions, and conspiracy theories surrounding this matter. So, why would a government choose not to disclose information about a subject that concerns all countries and people? In fact, the existence of such an option should be questioned. If it is chosen, then what could this possibly mean? The government might be launching spy satellites, or the military could be testing something. A new telescope has been invented, capable of detecting invisible extraterrestrial entities on Earth. Yes, a new telescope has been developed that can detect invisible alien beings present here on Earth. It is claimed that these mysterious images serve as evidence of the existence of invisible alien entities. This visual carries significant evidentiary value. Photographs of an ITE-2 demonstrating intelligent movement.
Dawn of our civilization,
all of
Dr. Santilli states that the presence consisted of different colored lights vibrating and moving in a synchronized manner, including a point where the movement paused for a few seconds and then continued along a complex trajectory during a 15-second exposure.
our imagination at this time.
Researchers searching for evidence of antimatter in the universe believe that they have encountered an unknown, invisible life form on planet Earth. The group of researchers who discovered these mysterious entities work at Thunder Energy Corporation, an optical nuclear physics and energy company. According to them, these enigmatic beings inhabit the Earth's atmosphere. The company, led by the controversial nuclear physicist Dr. Ruggero Santilli, is considered an expert in mathematics and physics by many and has been nominated for the Nobel Chemistry and Physics Prizes. Dr. Santilli has developed a revolutionary telescope designed to detect antimatter light in the cosmos. Unlike traditional telescopes, the Santilli telescope is made entirely of concave lenses. While inventing this, they discovered these entities. According to Dr. Santilli, using the concave lens telescopes known as Santilli telescopes, we have discovered the first evidence of the visible presence of antimatter cosmic rays from antimatter galaxies. Independent of these astrophysical findings, we are presenting evidence for the visible existence of invisible entities using traditional Galileo telescopes with convex lenses that leave dark images in the background of digital cameras associated with central telescopes, which can only be seen with telescopes equipped with concave lenses, said Dr. Santilli. Look, my friends, it's very interesting. The new report published in the American Journal of Modern Physics has revealed a controversial finding that presents evidence for the existence of invisible entities in our terrestrial environment and suggests that traditional telescopes made with convex lenses also detect these entities. This image was taken on September 5, 2015, in the evening sky over Tampa Bay. The invisible terrestrial entity identified as IT-1 is captured in two different photographs. As you can see, my friends. Additionally, we also learn about the general purpose of CERN experiments. In fact, this serves as undeniable evidence of the significance of CERN research. Let's continue. Vimana Pushpika, an ancient flying vehicle describing traveling to space. Resembling the sun and belonging to my brother, the Pushpika Vimana was brought by the mighty Ravana. This Vimana, moving through the air and progressing excellently, can go anywhere. It resembles a bright cloud in the sky, that war chariot. King Rama entered and the excellent war chariot under the command of Raghuran ascended to a higher atmosphere. These descriptions, written in the ancient Hindu epic Ramayana thousands of years ago, are truly astonishing. Hindu mythology is filled with incredible tales, mythological stories, and most importantly written texts. According to ancient Hindu history, which is one of the most important sources on the planet, the ancient sacred texts called Vedas talk about incredible flying ships that visited our planet 6,000 years ago. It is worth asking, what were the people of that time basing these narratives on? Let's take a closer look at the ancient Pushpika Vimana, a powerful ancient flying vehicle described more specifically in Hindu texts and Sanskrit epics. King Ravana's Pushpika Vimana is the most frequently cited example of a Vimana. Vimanas are also mentioned in the Jain texts known as the Jail. Jainism is an ancient Indian religion. By examining the ancient Sanskrit and the etymology of Vimana, which means to measure, to pass through, or to be measured, we can see its significance. By the command of Rama, the magnificent war chariot ascended to a cloud mountain with tremendous ability. Another passage states, it flew on a tremendous ray as bright as the sun with the sound of a thunderstorm. Munir Williams, the second modern professor of Sanskrit at Oxford University, describes the ancient Vimana as a celestial car of the gods, sometimes functioning as a throne, sometimes self-propelled, carrying its passenger through the air or moving on its own. Other descriptions liken Vimanas to houses or palaces, with some varieties said to be 7 stories high. They can move swiftly, accommodate hundreds of people, and fly. The Pushpika Vimana is quoted as one of the most valuable and significant examples. In modern languages, Vimana is generally translated as aircraft. This depiction shows the statue of the Pushpika Vimana as a flying temple in the sky, and we see these powerful and massive machines portrayed as large as a temple in many depictions of Vimanas. In ancient Sanskrit epics, Vimana referred to the so-called flying war chariots used by various ancient gods. Different Vedic gods are described as using the wheeled war chariots of these aircraft to traverse from one place to another. Some verses of ancient texts have been interpreted by different authors as the wings of mechanical birds. According to Swami Dayananda Saraswati, a renowned scholar of Vedic and Sanskrit language, the ancient Vimana was a powerful spacecraft. It was said to be capable of swiftly traveling to space using fire and water, and it consisted of 12 columns, 1 wheel, 3 engines, 300 pilots, and 60 sections. Drawings and descriptions regarding this matter are available in the link provided for your examination. Pushpika Vimana is generally described as a mythical flying palace or war chariot. In the Ramayana, we find a more specific description of Pushpika Vimana, another extraordinary definition of the Vimana. Pushpika Vimana, resembling the sun and belonging to my brother, was brought by the powerful Ravana. This splendid Vimana descends from the sky to the ground, resembling a bright cloud in the sky. King Rama entered inside it, and under the command of Raghira, the magnificent war chariot ascended to a higher atmosphere. Pushpika Vimana appears to be the first flying Vimana mentioned in existing Hindu texts. The powerful Pushpika Vimana was built by Visvakarma for Hindu creator god Brahma. This Vimana was later given to the wealth deity Kabura by Brahma. Eventually, Pushpika Vimana was stolen by my stepbrother King Ravana, along with Lanka. In the Mahabharata, there are hundreds of other narratives and descriptions available. Yes, the expressions used are quite astonishing. But the real question we should think about and ask is, how did they create and write about these 6,000 years ago? NASA's STS-115 mission, did a UFO prevent the space shuttle from returning to Earth? One of the most fascinating UFO incidents recorded by NASA to date took place during the journey of the Space Shuttle Atlantis to the International Space Station in September 2006.
And Fergie, I also have a big picture call for your timeline.
During the 13-day mission, astronauts detected a series of mysterious objects, with one in particular causing a delay in Atlantis' return to Earth. On September 19, 11 days into the mission, as the crew prepared to return home, the astronauts reported seeing an object moving along an orbital path with the shuttle, following the testing of the reaction control system. The astronauts used the shuttle's onboard cameras to observe the object. But unfortunately, it was revealed that most of the footage was blurry. An article titled "Atlantis Landing Delayed," published on Space.com on September 19, shed light not only on NASA's interest in the object but also on the confusion it created among the astronauts. The question remains, what is it? Is it something benign as we've seen before, or is it something more critical that we need to pay attention to? Regarding the mysterious object, NASA stated on the day the Space.com article was published, the return of the Atlantis spacecraft to Kennedy Space Center was delayed one day until Thursday morning due to poor weather conditions at the spaceport. NASA managers continued analysis to determine what the unidentified falling object could have been after being observed near the orbiter by the crew of Discovery. Speaking to NASA space flight at the time, it's tumbling, and it also appears to be rectangular. However, we don't have a reference scale in this photo. There is still much mystery surrounding this issue, he said. Additionally, the commander of the Atlantis Space Shuttle, Brand Jet, described the objects as two rings and added, "It doesn't resemble anything I've seen outside the shuttle." It's worth noting that numerous mysterious objects have been detected not only near NASA's space shuttles but also near the International Space Station during the Space Shuttle program. Who said you couldn't see the Giza pyramids from space? A new image provided by ESA's test spacecraft captured the pyramids of the Giza Plateau with striking details and actually proved that you can see these magnificent structures from space. The Great Pyramid of Giza and the accompanying structures on the Giza Plateau have remained a mystery for archaeologists and academics for centuries. The mysterious and enigmatic Great Pyramid of Giza is undoubtedly one of the most astounding monuments ever erected on Earth. And its height is even visible from space. The European Space Agency recently released a stunning image of the Giza Plateau, featuring the pyramids of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. ESA's photograph provides a perspective from north to south. In the center of the image, we can see the smaller Menkaure pyramid, which is said to have been built to house the tomb of an Egyptian pharaoh from the 4th dynasty. If we look to the left of Menkaure, we will see the larger pyramid of Khafre, standing at 488 feet. Below and to the left of Khafre, we can see the largest pyramid on the Giza Plateau, the Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu. It is believed that the ancient Egyptians, who constructed this astonishing monument, built the Great Pyramid of Giza thousands of years ago, approximately within a span of 20 years. It is thought to have been completed around 2560 BCE. Thousands of years ago, the ancient builders of the pyramids used over 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing between 2 and 50 tons, to construct a structure that would withstand the test of time. The hidden radio messages of legendary astronaut John Glenn have been leaked. Capsule pilot John Glenn recounts, "They're all over the sky. I'm trying to describe what I see inside. I am in the midst of a mass of very small particles, brightly lit up, like they're illuminated. I've never seen anything like this before. They're drifting by the capsule, coming from the side, and they look like little stars. They're all around me." An incredibly astonishing audio file has been leaked, capturing the astonishment of astronaut John Glenn, who was surrounded by numerous strange UFOs. This time, the communication is noted as one of the most astounding pieces of evidence for mysterious extraterrestrial beings during manned space missions. This old audio file belongs to the Mercury Atlas 6, also known as MA-6, capsule that was led by John Glenn and launched on February 20, 1962. It contains a small portion of the conversation during the first manned orbital mission of the United States, known as the Friendship 7. In the audio file, Mr. Glenn's capsule was given the name Friendship 7, and it can be understood from the audio that he mentioned the presence of UFOs following him as he approached the atmosphere that day. Then he suddenly realizes that something strange is happening around him because he describes being surrounded by numerous UFOs that he couldn't even count. I will share a few dialogues that were deciphered, totaling around 20 minutes. If you want to listen to all of them, I have included the original link in the description section. You can personally examine it. Here is the transcript of the event.
This is Friendship 7. Have eaten one tube of food, shutting the visor. I've had no problem at all eating. Oh, the sun is coming up behind me in the periscope, a brilliant, brilliant red. Over.
John Glenn, this is Friendship 7, something is tumbling right outside my window. It started just as I gave you the mark, and I'm trying to observe its appearance through the dark filter. Control, this is Roger. Okay, John Glenn. This is Friendship 7. I'm trying to describe what I'm seeing inside. They're brightly lit, illuminated like sparklers. I've never seen anything like this before. They're following me, they're right by the capsule, and they look like little stars. They're very crowded, swirling around the capsule and ahead of me, and they're all giving off a very bright light. They're probably about 7 or 8 miles away, but I can see them underneath as well. Control, impressed by the events, asks me to describe the objects and identify any spacecraft. Roger, Friendship 7, are you being impacted by any of these objects? Negative, negative. They're very slow compared to me, maybe 3 or 4 miles per hour slower. They're tracking along with me. About right there, just slightly below my speed. They appear to be trying to stay with me. I continue, they have a different motion than I do, because they're orbiting around the capsule and moving back. Silence follows, Control doesn't respond. I ask, can you hear me? They're literally all around me. After describing the blender-like objects, Control remains silent, and as Glenn continues to describe the strange objects around the spacecraft, Control asks if he's in contact with anyone. This is Friendship 7, am I in contact with anyone?
This is Friendship 7. This is Friendship 7, broadcasting in the blind again on HF.
Finally, about 5 minutes after recounting the events, there is a sudden response from Control. Glenn responds, stating that his voice is slightly garbled and inquiring about his oxygen levels. Strangely, Control begins to respond and communicate without addressing the peculiar events with Glenn, explaining that the mysterious particles are still present around the spacecraft. After realizing the lack of response from Control, Glenn decides to try and photograph the mysterious objects. Later, Scott Carpenter, another astronaut in the Aurora 7 capsule, confirms and witnesses similar mysterious objects in space after the successful orbit of Friendship 7. The engravings of aliens and spaceships uncovered in the Mexico cave. Explorers who recently visited a Mexican cave made an unexpected discovery, proclaiming it as the best evidence of alien contact on Earth, engravings of aliens and spaceships. The group of explorers visited the cave and conducted detailed research. The cave, which is part of 3 caves, is located between the cities of Veracruz and Puebla. In 2 of the cases, the researchers made unexpected findings, including several carved stones depicting images related to aliens. Additionally, the explorer group discovered a series of golden artifacts in another cave. On the surfaces of the stones, a group of researchers claimed to have found evidence that many people interpret as depictions of extraterrestrial ships and humanoid beings. It appears that one of the stones, which had been broken in the past, depicts the top part of a supposed spaceship along with a non-human entity according to some individuals. Local legends have long spoken of a mysterious ship hidden somewhere near the caves, dating back to ancient times. This was the main reason for the explorer group's journey to the area 3 months ago, and their search yielded entirely unexpected results. They believe that what they encountered is the ultimate proof that extraterrestrial beings visited Earth thousands of years ago and had direct contact with ancient cultures that existed in Mexico at that time. José Aguayo, from the National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, explained that he couldn't comment on the finding as it doesn't fall under typical archaeology. These artifacts depict things that go against mainstream history and contradict what we have been told about our history and origins. The statement goes as follows: if at any given time the National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, decides to collect the artifacts, it would have significant implications for both sides as an official government institution accepting one of the most denied truths. It tells of the existence of non-human entities directly influencing ancient cultures on Earth, which remains unexplained. This is the statement from an official institution and individual, my friends. What are your thoughts on this matter? Secret Space Programs, Aliens, and Inner Earth Civilizations Conference held. During the Conquest Life Expo 2017 in Los Angeles, Corey Goode revealed fascinating details about secret space programs, alien life, and inner Earth civilizations. Corey Goode describes himself as an intuitive empath. According to the Earth Alliance, Corey Goode was recruited at a young age, around 6 years old, to participate in one of the MILA programs. He underwent training and served in the MILA program from 1976 to 1987. At the end of the MILA program, he obtained a World Delegate seat in the Super Federation Council as an Extraterrestrial Techno-Human Interface (ETHI) representative. He was assigned to fulfill a supporting role as an intuitive empath channel for a shared seat among secretive world government groups. During the Conquest Life Expo 2017 in Los Angeles, Goode discussed alien life, alien contact, civilization for Earth, and the generally forbidden knowledge, sharing captivating details. He states, alien contact has already happened. When I was first taken and brought into these MILAB-type programs, I slowly found myself being introduced to extraterrestrial beings. It would be like entering a virtual reality environment where they would put glasses on you, and you sit in a chair, and there would be a group of military and medical personnel in the room, and then when they take the glasses off, there would be a gray alien sitting at the table. They would just beam it in. Yes, they spent years acclimating people to being in the presence of extraterrestrial beings because no matter who you are instinctively programmed to respond to genetically non-Earth entities. It's a value of the secret space program. Corey Goode is not the only one who speaks about the existence of an operational secret space program. Interestingly, a person claiming to be a former NASA employee stated 20 years ago that secret manned missions to Mars had taken place. A former Marine claimed to have even served on Mars, going by the alias Captain Caillou. According to him, there was not only a secret space program and fleet operating in space but also developments of colonies and bases on Mars. He claimed to have spent years serving on the Red Planet, with the mission of protecting 5 human colonies from indigenous life forms on Mars. Captain Caillou further stated that he not only spent years on Mars but also served on a massive spacecraft for 3 years. However, perhaps the best explanation and person who could expose everything about secret programs and shadow governments is Senator Daniel Inouye. He stated, there exists a shadowy government with its own Air Force, its own Navy, its own fundraising mechanism, and the ability to pursue its own ideas of national interest, free from all checks and balances, and free from the law itself. Let's continue. During the Conquest Life Expo 2017, Goode provided a detailed explanation of the secret space program as follows. When I was almost 17 years old, I was brought into the SSP, the secret space program, during the MILA program, where I had been taken care of. They recruited me into Solar Warden. My birthday was on February 22nd, just 11 days after the Christmas holiday in 1986. They brought me in December, right before my 17th birthday. They assigned me to a research vessel, but the captain didn't want me there. They had put what he called kids on the ship in the past, and it took them about a year to acclimate. It was very disruptive. Instead, they sent me to the unauthorized guest prevention and interrogation program, where they would use intuitive empaths like me to question extraterrestrial beings they had captured in our solar system or on Earth. I was in that program for about a year, and then they reassigned me back to the Solar Warden fleet. I worked with scientists and engineers. They called me an expert when working with scientists on the science side, and I was a technician when working with engineers. I know everything, and I don't want you to be afraid. Alien beings are often present on Earth, invisible among humans. Some of them are involved in research and development tasks within the military of certain countries, including high-ranking positions such as presidents and leading groups. Does America have a secret space fleet? The entire world's agenda on the topic of extraterrestrials changed completely with the success of high-profile computer hacker Gary McKinnon in gaining access to highly classified files from the United States Navy and NASA. McKinnon, a UFO enthusiast, appeared to have learned some quite bizarre things happening in space as a computer expert. McKinnon managed to infiltrate secret American files by discovering that the government had operational warships in space. According to computer hacker Gary McKinnon, he found an Excel spreadsheet labeled non-terrestrial officers and thought, "Oh my God, this is incredible." McKinnon faced a major legal battle in the UK. During his famous interview with Rich Planet TV, he delved into the details of what he discovered when hacking into the United States Navy and NASA computers. According to McKinnon, Building 8 at the Johnson Space Center is where people use the acquired images from space, which NASA widely photographs, to track UFOs.
And he showed her a picture of a large white disk, presumably a satellite photograph, above the Earth, but not very high above the Earth because there was...
When McKinnon hacked into the NASA computers, he claims to have found an electronic spreadsheet titled Non-Terrestrial Officers, belonging to the United States Navy, and while he acknowledges that these words can be interpreted in various ways, there is one thing that is certain when they are pronounced, and that is that these officers are not from this world.
Or the network name, which I think was JSC-NASA.gov.
McKinnon also claims to have found approximately 25 detailed records about the officers' ranks, names, and ships. He argues that the secret space fleet consists of space warships bearing the USS prefix, similar to all other ships belonging to the United States. Additionally, McKinnon alleges that he found references to material transfer among the ships, implying the use of up to 10 ships for this purpose. What could this material transfer refer to? McKinnon asserts that all of this serves as evidence that these are space warships owned by the American government. This fleet is fully operational and kept hidden from society. However, are these merely empty claims made by a man attempting to create a narrative? Could it be the reason why McKinnon faces severe legal consequences in both American and British courts? Furthermore, there is ample evidence suggesting that these possibilities are entirely feasible. First and foremost, we should remember the thought-provoking statement made by Senator Daniel K. Inouye: there exists a shadowy government with its own air force, its own navy, its own fundraising mechanism, and the ability to pursue its own ideas of national interest, free from all checks and balances and free from the law itself. Could this shadow government be behind the mysterious warships operating in space? In the past few years, numerous individuals have emerged who claim that there is more to NASA's spacecraft and technology than what society is aware of. Retired aerospace and space engineer William Tompkins is another person with something to say about the activation of secret space fleets. According to Tompkins, thousands, not just a few but thousands of people joined the Navy, joined the space fleet here in the United States. They went out on a 20-year assignment. So these people were tested and given a lot of information about what they would need as men and women. Many of them went down to their legs and to the facilities there and were checked out, organized, and determined what the best spot would be, what their criteria would be, what the main areas they would develop, and then they were sent to a Mars facility for a brief period. Corey Goody, a builder of secret space programs, seems to corroborate the stories of McKinnon and Tompkins. In a statement, Corey Goody wrote, "Mars was visited first by the Germans until the 1930s, but in the 70s, America was actively exploring Mars and other planets to establish bases. In 1980, the United States SSBC became Solar Warden. Under the project Solar Warden, significant advancements and colonization took place on Mars and other planets. Goody continues, the bases on Mars were built underground. These are just a few comments from individuals who know more than the rest of us, and despite being ridiculed every day, they firmly stand behind their stories. Many may dismiss McKinnon as a liar. However, the divided interview into 4 separate videos seems to indicate that the British hacker might have indeed accomplished something. Many argue that his story is surprisingly consistent. I have provided the links to the interviews in the description section. You can also find source links for all the claims in the video in the sources section of the description. Friends, we can start by acknowledging the purposeful misinformation and denials of fake news in today's world. It is impossible for them to admit such things because they lack the courage. Considering that individuals like McKinnon are still being prosecuted for accessing NASA data, it becomes clear that they have no intention of providing any explanations. However, somehow their malicious plans are thwarted, and fragments of truth or partial truth manage to leak out, giving us the opportunity to learn. Yes, friends, please share your comments, participate actively. Because everything you write contributes to the formation of certain matters. Share our videos with your circle, subscribe. And make sure to enable notifications so that you are instantly informed when we upload a new video. Now, did you think the video was over? Of course not. Perhaps we have reached the most important topic of the video. You are aware that the Vatican had many documents leaked to Wikileaks, right? But did you also know that they have had close contact with extraterrestrials? Wikileaks' Podesta emails were leaked. The Vatican is aware of the existence of extraterrestrials and the imminent space war. John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, whom these names have caused many sensations, I strongly recommend researching Pedagate and Comet Pizza topics. In emails dating back to 2015 between Podesta and a renowned American astronaut affiliated with the Vatican, the possibility of being aware of the existence of alien life is mentioned. It states, aliens want to help humanity, but they are afraid of human tendencies for violence. A document recently released by Wikileaks mentions Edgar Mitchell, a former NASA astronaut who passed away in February, writing that we should be aware of several factors as we plan our Skype conversation because the race for space warfare is heating up. He also speaks of a non-violent alien species that walks among the 6th human civilization on the moon, willing to assist and share a technology called zero-point energy. However, if we continue to accumulate nuclear weapons and engage in warfare, the aliens will not provide humanity with this technology. Mitchell wrote in the emails that aliens will not tolerate any form of military violence on Earth or in space, and they may even intervene if humanity engages in another war. One of the emails written by Mitchell reveals his belief in the ultimate evidence of the Pope and the Vatican's knowledge about alien life and alien visits to Earth. Interestingly, one of Podesta's emails mentions Terry Mansfield, ETI, Peacekeeping Task Force. Described as the Director of Extraterrestrial Intelligence Peacekeeping Force. The first email from Edgar Mitchell to Podesta reads as follows, Dear John, as the race for space warfare is heating up, I felt that you and I should be aware of several factors as we plan our Skype conversation. Remember, our non-violent ETI from the adjacent universe is helping us bring zero-point energy to Earth. They will not tolerate any form of military violence on Earth or in space. This was shared with me by my colleague Carol Rosen, who worked closely with Wernher von Braun for several years before his death. Carol and I have worked on the attached Prevention of the Placement of Weapons in Outer Space Treaty to provide you with convenience. The second email message Mitchell wrote to Podesta goes as follows. As we approach the year 2015, I understand that you will be leaving the administration in February. We must urgently agree on a date and time to come together and discuss construction and zero-point energy. After your departure, when you are available at the earliest convenience, my Catholic colleague Terry Mansfield will be there to inform us about the Vatican's awareness regarding ETI. Another colleague of mine is working on a new space treaty, citing his relationship with Russia and China as a justification. However, considering Russia's excessive intervention in Ukraine, I believe we need to pursue a path of peace in space and ZPE on Earth. I met with the United States Ambassador to Geneva, Pamela Hamamoto, on July 4, who happens to be President Obama's childhood friend, and briefly mentioned zero-point energy to her. In the presentation we made for President Obama, I believe we can embrace him as a confidant and resource. I appreciate your assistance in working with Terry to arrange our meeting. Yes, dear friends, I am just lonely human. Like you, I have heard, read, and learned. We are facing an officially acknowledged alien race. So, what do you think zero-point energy could be? Could it be a dimensional portal or a gateway for transit?